Welcome, and welcome once again. First and foremost, I'd love to know where you are all tuning in from. So, if you will, please post that in the comments where you are tuning in from as I check. Okay, wonderful. So, great evening once again, and welcome to the Sonya Dungee podcast, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and of course, yes, I'm still bringing the heat to the YouTube, to the Facebook, and to the IG streets. Tonight's episode 148, is being sponsored once again by Always Destined for Greatness LLC. So I am going to be popping back and forth just to make sure we are here. I don't see it, but let me see. Let's see. Try this once again. One moment. I'm not seeing my friends on the other side of the house, so therefore I am going to make sure that we do not leave them high and dry ever. So just one moment while I bring them on as well, because we got some things to discuss tonight. And I just would love that our audience be together in the process. I don't want to leave anybody out. So we're just going to ensure that that is not the case here. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Sorry about the technicalities, but they are what they are, and I don't want to leave anybody behind unnecessarily. So that is what we're about to do here. Okay, let's see. For some reason, it is not going according to plans. Let's see. No, okay. I'm trying to bring our friends along, but I don't quite think that it is going to, let's see, allow us to, but let's see. Okay. Nope. All right. So our friend on the other platform might have to meet us as they know differently in a different platform, but we're going to go ahead and get started just the same. I want to thank you all for joining. So tonight, before we begin, please allow me to share a little bit about myself. It might be a replay or it might be live, but there might be somebody who is joining us for the first time, and we want to welcome them with open arms and let them know a little bit about myself and my story. So my story began on January 23rd, 2021 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the VA hospital in Northport, New York, during the height of the pandemic. And as I held my dad's left hand sitting beside his bed, I watched a tear roll down his cheek. And in those moments, I watched my dad take his last breath on this earth and his first breath in heaven. And as a result of that, it left me immediately spiraling out of control into a dark place. I didn't drug, I didn't drink, I didn't do any of those things, but I was broken. I felt isolated. I was stuck. I did the same routine every single day, like that hamster on the wheel, just going around and around day to day, doing the same thing, just enough to get by, to survive, smiling on the outside when broken and grieving on the inside. And this went on for 342 days. 342 days before I made that conscious decision and that chose to do better, chose to say enough is enough, and invested in myself. I found myself a coach slash mentor and a community of like-minded individuals that uplifted me and helped me through the worst of the worst. So the reason why I tell you my story is because I am now a transformational coach, and I help those that have struggled in life hardship and grief and life challenges, that have decided and taken that conscious decision to move forward. I help them to become empowered. I help them to become unstuck, and so that they can reach their full potential in life. And that's just a shortened version of what it is that I do. I will be talking a lot more about that as well. But in that comes an attitude of expectation and of excellence in reaching economic independence, so that they can walk fully in their purpose and always be destined for their greatness as well. So tonight I am going to go over 5 life stucks, and that will help to be able to move forward to fulfill your life purpose. So the first one is you're stuck in a rut. You're stuck in that rut because you're judging yourself. You're judging yourself instead of giving yourself grace. And in that, you have to take time to self-reflect. Ask yourself, why are you feeling stuck? Identify that specifically. What specific areas or aspects of your life is it that is causing you to have those feelings and prohibiting you from regaining your sense of purpose? Number 2, that self-limitations, that self-sabotage. If you're unhappy in a relationship, or you're working that dead-end job and you unconsciously may experience that self-sabotage behavior, you don't even know that you're necessarily doing that. But once you realize that, to overcome this, you have to begin to recognize and acknowledge your patterns. Identify what triggers you, and then practice self-compassion. Self-compassion. Number 3, imposter syndrome. That's when you doubt yourself. Am I worthy? Do I have the capabilities? You're feeling undeserving in your job. You're feeling like you're a fraud. Like people are looking up to you, and they're uplifting you, and they're giving you your props, but you're having difficulties in internalizing that success, the success that you have brought on to yourself. You put in the work. That's fruit of your labor. But you're just, brushing it off like, oh, that wasn't me. I just got lucky. Like I went and I played the slot machine and it was just luck, no big deal. So that's that imposter syndrome. And to combat that, You have to focus on facts rather than feelings and acknowledge your achievements. And I know it can be difficult. I kind of struggled in that a little bit too. Didn't realize that I was doing that. I mean, I have many. These are just a few of my Be Iconic awards. I have 5 in total. I have 3 others here you can't see on the desk. I'm a certified icon. I got the Attraction Award, the Impactor Award, all types of awards. And I was just like, oh, thank you so much. It was like, I just looked up on it. But the reality is I put in the work. That's the fruit of my labor. I was coachable. I was teachable. I showed up. I didn't miss any classes. I earned that. I gladly accept that. I'm grateful for those awards. That's just another, you did it. A reminder. I mean, I got the Overcomer Award because I've overcome so many things in my life, and being able to overcome grief, hardship, and life challenges to be able to move forward in my life, to become resilient. But, there were steps that I had to take. And that's the same thing with that imposter syndrome. Own it. Don't self-sabotage yourself, and don't deny your self-worth and what your capabilities are. You got that. You got that. Focus on your facts rather than feelings, and acknowledge your achievements. And 4, that limited vision. Not knowing what your why is. For those of you who don't know what your why is, it's that core reason or your purpose, what motivates your actions and your beliefs. Without forging your path, you end up stuck in life. You got to know what your why is. For me, my why, my reason, the reason why I do these things that I do is, 1, because I know and I trust and I believe in the Lord. And Proverbs 3:5-6 it all day, every day. That's one of my favorite scriptures. I've had to trust in the Lord with all my heart. Lean not on my own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And once I let go and I did just that, my path opened up. Doors opened. Doors opened for me that I never thought would. You see, my dad might have died. He passed on. He went to be with the Lord. I know where he is. And yes, it hurt. It was gut-wrenching. But once I just really reevaluated myself and came up with my why, what is my reason? My reason is because there were people that have suffered just the way I did, in all various ways. It doesn't necessarily need to be grief. But once they're ready and they're ready to take action, and they just need help in that direction, or they've been on that struggle bus and now they done walked down the steps of the struggle bus and got off the bus, and they're now waiting at the bus stop because they're just not sure of the direction in which to go to navigate. They need help with that navigation, just like I did. My why is of so many reasons. My why is to help those people. My why is so that my grandchildren know different. So that my family, so that my friends know different. So that all of you know different. Because there is no instructional manual to just refer to. How do you become unstuck? How do you go from grief to purpose? How do you go from life challenges to be able to move forward, to go after those goals and those dreams that you thought was never going to be a reality? My why is so that I can retire and so that I can be my own CEO 24/7. And so that my life does not have to be secondary to my job, which pays my bills, which I'm grateful for. Those are my whys. My whys is to be able to walk fully in my purpose. My why is to be that faithful servant. Those are my whys. So if you don't know what your why is, what your core reason is, what your purpose is that motivates your actions and your belief, you got to figure out what they are. Because without forging your path, you end up stuck in life. We need to be empowered and grab that bull by the horn. Have a life blueprint and stick to it. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to do that day to day with that come what you may attitude, that mentality like, all right, it's just another day, just going to do whatever I do to get by, go to job so I can make a living, so I can spend my money on my bills, and so I could afford to live another day with a roof over my head and food in my mouth. And 5, that lack of adequate resources. You have to have adequate resources at the very least. I say more so than adequate. You have to invest in yourself. By investing yourself, as I did, I had to invest in a coach/mentor. I had to be able to gain the lasting positive change by fostering self-awareness, empowering mindset, and ultimately navigating towards positive and fulfilling life. And that's just to name a few of the benefits that I chose to speak about tonight in getting resources and getting that help, because you can't do it alone. We all know you can't do it alone. You need a community. Willpower alone will never outdo a community. I know I say it all the time, and I mean it every time I say it. I tried 342 days. You see where that got me? I stayed stuck. And I know that I'm delivering this with passion. And trust and believe me, I'm not yelling at anyone. But you see, my passion is what drives me, because I don't want anybody to not know what to do. There's a need and there's a want. You have to need it and you have to want it. You have to want it more than you need it, and need it just as much as you want it. And if that's you, congratulations. Because that's the first step, the very first step in being able to move forward. Because I'm talking to you now on the side of wanting and needing and taking that action to be able to move forward, as I did. Because I know that when you're stuck in grief, but you're not ready to move forward, it's not going to happen. And I can't help you with that. You see, my job as a transformation begins after you've made that conscious decision and you've begun to take action, and you've already walked down the steps of that struggle bus, and that door opened, and you got off the bus, and you were now there at the 4 corners, at that cross path, and you just don't know which direction to go. That's when I can help you. That's where my job begins as a transformation coach. But I cannot do that. And that's a very hard pill that I had to swallow, keeping it 100. Because I know I didn't ask you tonight, was it okay for me to be transparent? But I am being transparent, and I know that I don't need that validation in order to do so. You see, I thought I can help everybody. I thought I can start from the very beginning, from your grief, from your life challenges, and guide you from step to step to step to step. I can't do that, and I know that. I know I can't give out passes. I know I can't get on that bus and strong arm anybody to pull them off the bus no matter how I want to. I know I cannot do that. And I thank all of you who have been sending DMs and text messages and phone calls and validating the fact that something that I said related to you, or that you found value, or you had a breakthrough, or you had an aha moment. But you see, those are all words and they're all great, and I appreciate them and keep them coming, because it tells me that what I'm doing is right, and that people are getting the value and you're getting the breakthroughs. But now more than any, in the time that we're having, and with spiritual warfare and everything else that is happening in this world, I can meet you where you are. I can meet you where you are. But you got to be in the take action stage. You got to be ready, willing, and able. And I've already made that decision and already started moving forward. And that's when I can tell you, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, because I once was you, because I was. But you see, I can't go into the eye of the storm with you. I'm here willing and able and ready to meet you on that other side. And together, we can create a life blueprint for you so that you can walk purposefully in your life. And you can accomplish your goals and you can accomplish your dreams. You could walk in your purpose, because you know we all beat out 299 million for a purpose. We're not here by accident. We were created before the foundation. That's what I'm talking about. And, and keeping it transparent, I met with my coach mentor this morning. And we had a one-on-one. And I left with ahas and breakthroughs, and so excited about coming on tonight and to talking to all of you about this very thing. Because I've been talking to you about being resilient in 2025 and us working together and all of that. And I mean it wholeheartedly. But what I wasn't making 100% clear is there are steps that we need to take first before we can be resilient in 2025. And these are some of these actionable steps that need to be taken first and foremost before we can become fully resilient in 2025. And that starts with all of you. It starts with all of you. And as I come into the comments, just one moment here. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know I earned it. I know I worked very hard to earn everything that I have. I know I earned those awards, but those awards are tangible evidence of fruit. And I'm grateful for those. But my greatest reward is knowing that. But what I say and but what I do, and by telling my story and being accountable and being here in front of all of you, that's my greatest reward. That's my greatest award. Knowing that I'm walking in purpose is everything to me. So I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm just going to go back over these 5, okay? Just briefly. And before I go over these 5, I just want all of you to know that I am so appreciative of all of you. I am eternally grateful for all of you. You all are important to me and you all are valuable. And I hope that the things that we've talked over the last couple of years, even with the walk and talk with Sonya, I hope that you're still exercising that self-image at every chance you get, from sun up to sundown and in between. Because you are important and you're valuable. You're a child of God first and foremost. You are loved. You are going to do great things in life. You're strong. You got it going on. You're all that in a bag of chips, and don't ever let anybody tell you different. I'm talking from experience because it happened to me. But see, I knew better. I knew that there was more. And the more that somebody tried to knock me down and tell me how it was never going to amount to anything, and that I wasn't going to go to college, and I wasn't going to be able to get my degree, and I was going to have to rely on government assistance for my rest of my life and all that other negativity, I chose to take all that negativity and burn it, use it for fuel to empower me and uplift me. And that's what I want for all of you. So I know I don't say it enough, but I'm saying it to you tonight, that I value you and I appreciate you, and you are somebody. You're phenomenal. You are phenomenal. I don't care from where you started out, what your background is, what your race is. I don't care about any of that. Don't let anybody use that against you, ever. So with that being said, number 1 is stuck in a rut. Okay? Don't judge yourself in a negative way. Anytime you feel yourself doing that, get to your mirror. I got a mirror right here, right next to me. And I use it more than just to see if my hair is in place or if my lipstick is right. Because I have to talk to my self-image and tell that self-image all about myself. 2, self-limitations and self-sabotage. Overcome that by recognizing and acknowledging your patterns and identify your triggers and practice self-compassion. 3, imposter syndrome. Stop doubting your self-worth. Stop doubting your capabilities. If somebody tells you, great job, say thank you. Know that they mean it. They're telling you you're an asset and you're valuable. Stop reflecting off on that. Your achievements are everything. So what if you never got an award? You don't need a physical award. Your award is in here. Your award is in there. Walking in purpose is your reward. Being blessed by God above is an award, is a reward. Number 4, limited vision Know your why. If you don't know what your why is, I challenge you. As soon as you get off this podcast tonight, before you do another thing, get yourself a pen and paper if you don't have a journal. Write down, what is my why? What motivates me? What drives me? What motivates my actions, my beliefs? What is my path? What do I want? What don't I want? Know your why. Because you have to have that empowerment. Don't run from the bull. Grab that bull by the horn. Map out your blueprints. And if you don't know what it is, it's fine. Schedule yourself a one-on-one, a heart-to-heart with Sonya. A free 30 minutes I'm willing to give you. Together, we can sit down and map out your life blueprint. I can help you map out what your goals and your desires are. And 5, lack of adequate resources. And I want to X out adequate. I don't even want to use that. Lack of resources. You see, you have to invest in yourself. You can't do it alone, so you have to invest in yourself. Yes, it takes money to invest in yourself. As I did. For you, it would be a transformation coach / mentor, because I'm a transformation coach and a mentor. And in that, you need to do that so that you can gain lasting, positive change by fostering self-awareness, empowerment, mindset changes, that mindset shift. Because you have to be able to change your mindset so that you can ultimately navigate towards a positive and fulfilling life. And that's just a very small few of the benefits. So, being that we had an issue with one of our social media platforms, I will take that social media site and I will drop the link. And matter of fact, I'll go back to the other ones that are streaming automatically, and I will put the link to my heart to heart with Sonya. And I will give you all that 30 minutes of one-on-one. And if you have a life blueprint, great. Have it in front of you. We can go over it. There might be some things that you might want to change or add to or start anew. Okay, and then lastly, exactly 3 weeks from today, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, May the 7th, we were going to be having our next Boss Masterclass presented by Always Destined for Greatness. And of course, I'll be hosting it. And it's going to be 4 steps. I know I changed it. You're probably starting to say, that's not what you told us, Sonya. I know that's not what I told you. But since our last conversation and since I told you to save the dates, and after speaking with my mentor today and having that heart-to-heart conversation and really honing into specifically what I'm trying to foster, it's now going to be 4 steps to go from stuck to unstuck so that you can move forward in purpose. Okay, so I'm going to drop that link sometime tonight. And I recommend that you sign up. It's free. You have zero to lose.
Yeah. Imagine mothers.
You have nothing to lose behind it. It's free. And if you feel that there's someone that you know that could benefit as well, or maybe what I'm talking about you can't relate to, or you feel that it has nothing to do with your desires, but there's somebody that does, invite them by giving them the link to register. Invite them to the Sonya Dungee podcast. Like, comment, share on my social media platforms. That will help me get in front of the audience that needs and wants to hear what it is that I have to say. And I thank you in advance for that. So with that being said, thank you for joining me tonight. Be safe. Stay well. And God bless you all. Bye for now.